In last lecture, we have studied the working of pressurized water reactor, that is PWR. Okay, in that I forgot to mention one thing, that the inlet and outlet uh, of the steam in the turbine, okay, will have two types in case of PWR. In case of PWR, one is, I will show you. One is U-tube steam generators or U-tube bundles, and second is the ones through type. Okay, what is the difference between them? Yeah, I will show you. Okay, suppose this is the shaft of the turbine, and extensions are there. Okay, like these extensions are there. Extensions are there, and in U type, what there is an inlet for steam is here. Okay, for example, suppose the inlet is here, the steam is coming from here, from heat exchanger, and it will, okay, bombard on the, or the, it will be placed on the blade of the this turbine. Okay, and the outlet is at this position. Okay, means what, the steam will flow like this. It will have a path like this. Okay, this is a U type structure, and the is second one is once through type. Means what, the steam is coming from here and it is goes down. Okay, here. Okay, it is a once through. Okay, this is the U type, and second is the once through structure. Okay, that point I have forgotten to mention. Okay, next type is the BWR. Okay, we will now proceed further. Okay, next type is BWR, that is boiling water reactor. The difference between BWR and PWR is the, in case of PWR, there are two loops. Okay, there are two loops. Okay, you can observe here. Uh, the water coming out of the reactor, okay, is not given to directly to the turbine. Okay, but it is flowing through the heat exchanger, and the heat associated with that water is exchanged with the water in the next loop. Okay, the feed water or water steam loop. Okay, and that steam now given to the turbine blades. Okay, but in case of BWR, whatever the steam produced in the boiling reactor is directly given to the turbine. Okay, means what, there is no extra loop. Okay, water steam loop is absent. Okay, that is the basic difference between them. Next is the gas cooled reactor. Okay, in gas cooled reactors, okay, again there are two loops. Okay, there are two loops. One is the coolant loop. This is the coolant loop, that is CO2 is flowing in this loop. Okay, CO2 is fed to the reactor, and it will heated up, and it is flowing again through the heat exchanger, where the heat is exchanged with the steam. Okay, from the other loop. Okay, and now this steam is given to the turbine. Means what, there is one more loop is there. Okay, this is the water steam loop. Okay, like in PWR, there are here also two loops are there, but the coolant is the CO2. Okay, in PWR the coolant was the water. Okay. The same information is given here. Again, there are various types of gas cooled reactors. One is the AGR, that is advanced gas cooled reactor. Okay, advanced gas cooled reactor, which uses UO2. UO2 means uranium dioxide as the fuel, and it is clad in stainless steel. Means what? It is wrapped in stainless steel tubes with again CO2 as a coolant. Okay, and graphite as a moderator. Okay, graphite is used as a moderator. Okay, means what? Between the two tubes of the stainless steel, okay, which contains uh, uranium dioxide, graphite is placed. Next type is the helium cooled. Okay, helium cooled graphite moderated system, that is HTGR. Okay, where helium is used as the moderator. Okay, it is designed to use uranium 233 as the fissile material and thorium as the fertile material. Okay, in next point we will going to study the Indian nuclear program. Okay, how the construction of these types of reactors are affecting the program, or the constructing the program. Okay, at initially they use PWR, then they are gone for breeder. Okay, then they are gone for stage 3 with other type of reactor. We will see that. Okay, their base is forming here. Okay, means what? In India, thorium mines are, lot of thorium mines are there as compared to uranium, so that thorium must be enriched. Okay, that means what? Thorium has to be used as fertile material. Okay, and with the help of uranium 233, it can be converted into plutonium or uranium. Okay, or enriched thorium. We will see what extra information is needed to write in, when BWR will be asked. Okay, the extra information, this information is again required. There are two types of again BWR plant. Okay, the saturated liquid that separates from vapor at the top of reactor in a steam separator flows downward either internally within the reactor or externally outside the reactor. Okay, these are the two types. Okay, the same is shown in these figures. Okay, you can observe that. Means what? The mixture of water and uranium dioxide is there. Okay, and both things must be separated. Okay, in internal type, okay, there are two types. In internal types, the separation is done in the reactor itself, and only the steam will be coming out. Okay, mg is nothing but what? Steam. Okay, it is coming out and it is given to uh, turbine. And in external circulation type BWR, okay, there is extra device. Okay, steam separator. Okay, steam separator is used. Okay, this is the extra device used, which again separates the mg, means what? The steam, and the mf is nothing but what? A fuel. Okay, fuel mass. Okay, those things will be separated by the this steam separator. Okay, this steam separator. Okay, these are the two types. You have to write these things also in paper. Next, okay, they have given some expression which is not needed. Okay, you just escape those things. Okay, these things are not required. Again, this diagram is also not required. Okay, under one heading they are given 2-3 diagrams. Okay, the main diagram, for example in this case this is the main diagram. Okay, you have to draw this diagram. Next is the okay. Next is the liquid metal fast breeder reactor. Okay, as the name suggests, it is a breeder. Okay, means what? A fertile material is and it is converted into enriched material. Okay. The sodium is as the liquid metal. It is flowing through the reactor. Okay, it is flowing through the reactor. Means what? The sodium will be coming in the contact of the uranium. Okay, means what? It can be radioactive. This part, this sodium is a radioactive. Okay, so for a security purpose, they have uh, they have provided with extra loop of sodium. Okay, means what? The sodium coming out of the reactor will not be come in the contact of the steam. Okay, water steam loop. Okay, whatever the heat associated with the sodium coming out of the reactor will be exchanged here. It will be exchanged here with the other loop of the sodium, other loop of sodium. Okay, and again this sodium which is in liquid form, the heat of that sodium in exchanged in extra heat exchanger with the water. Okay, this is the water steam loop. Okay, means what? Extra intermediate loop. Okay, this is the intermediate loop is provided for security purpose. Okay, why the information is given here? Because of induced radioactivity of liquid sodium, an intermediate loop using sodium or sodium potassium as coolant is used between the primary radioactive coolant and the steam cycle. Okay, one extra cycle is used. हे कळालं का? माझा आवाज ऐकू येते ना सुमित?
येते येते.
ओके, बघूया आपण अजून एक्स्ट्रा काही इन्फॉर्मेशन लागते का चेक करूया. Okay, I think I have covered these things. Okay, the types of gas cooled reactor, that is AGR and HTGR. These are the two types. Okay, that information was enough. Next is the liquid metal breeder. Okay, we will see what happens in liquid metal breeder reactor. Means what? How a fertile material is converted into enriched material. Okay, you can see that uranium 238. Okay, uranium 238 is used as a fertile material and it is converted into plutonium 239, which is an enriched material. You can say that. Okay, how it happens? Okay, this uranium 238 is used with the fissionable material. So the neutrons which are released during the chain reaction. Okay, neutrons which is 1 minute. Okay, neutrons which is released during the chain reaction will interact with the uranium 238 and its mass number will be increased. Okay, its mass number will be increased by 1. You can see here its mass number is increased by 1. Okay, but the atomic number is remains same. Okay, 92 is the atomic number, means what? Number of protons remain the same, but number of neutron will be increased because this neutron is added, okay, in the nuclear structure. So uranium 239 will be there, okay, means same material with extra neutron, and during this gamma radiation will happen. The gamma radiation will take place. Again, this uranium 239 is undergo beta decay, okay, for 24 minutes, okay, and after that a new material, okay, neptunium, okay, a new material neptunium, its atomic number is increased, means number of proton is increased. When number of protons change, the material will not be same, okay, the new element will be produced, okay. So uranium 292 is converted into neptunium, which having atomic number 93, number of protons 93, and the number of neutrons remain the same, so its mass number will not be changed. And during this beta decay, one electron is emitted. Okay, during beta decay, your electrons are emitted. Again, this neptunium will undergo beta decay. Again, it will undergo beta decay for 23 days. Okay, after that, a new element, plutonium 94, will be produced. Okay, means what? Its number of protons, that is atomic number, will be increased by 1, and the number of neutrons, they remain the same, so the mass number remains the same, equal to 239, and during this one electron will be released. Okay, remember, during the beta decay, what happens? One electron is emitted and the atomic number will be increased by 1. Okay, you can study those things, okay, here. Okay, the same, this information is given in the book. Okay, it is very nice information given in here. I will show you. Okay, here, radioactive decay. During alpha decay, what happens? Alpha particles or helium nuclei, okay, commonly emitted by heavier radioactive nuclei, accompanied by gamma radiation. Okay, during alpha decay, what happens? The number of protons will be decreased. 2 protons will be decreased, means what? In helium, 2 protons are there. Okay, means what? We can say that alpha particle is emitted, or helium nuclei is emitted. Okay, we can say that. You can see here. Okay, means what? During alpha decay, number of protons will be decreased by 2, also number of neutrons are decreased by 2. During beta decay, what happens? The number of proton will be increased by 1. Number of protons 82 to 83, okay, will be increased by 1, and number of neutrons remain the same. And during this process, one electron will be emitted and a gamma radiation will be takes place. Similarly, you can go through what is the gamma radiation. Okay, in gamma radiation, gamma rays are coming out, which having high energy. Okay, highest energy than alpha and beta. During positron decay, positron is emitted by the nucleus. Okay, electron, if we consider electron as a matter, then positron can be termed as an antimatter. Okay, in K capture, okay, what happens? The the electron orbiting around the nucleus will be captured by the nucleus. Okay, and the vacant position of electron will be taken by the higher orbits. Okay, higher shells, electrons in higher shells. In neutron emission, a neutron will be emitted. It means what? Its atomic mass number will be decreased by 1. Okay, these are the types of various decays. Okay, one more decay is there, neutrino decay is there. We know the subatomic particles are electron, proton, neutron, but there are lot more subatomic particles are there. Okay, like positron is there. Okay, a proton, antiproton is there. Gluon is there. Okay, which binds neutron and proton together. Gluon is there. Okay. Uh, Similarly, electrons or protons or neutrons are again made by small teeny particles known as quarks. Okay, that is not the part of the syllabus, but there are a lot of particles are there. Okay. Okay. Next, one more type is there. Okay, sorry. Some information I have to give. Okay, liquid metal. Okay, fast breeder reactor. Here what happens, a new enriched material is formed, okay, which can be used for further or new nuclear power plants. Okay, again there are two types of designs of reactors are there. One is the pool type and second is the loop type. Okay, in pool type what happens, in reactor it is filled with sodium material. Okay, it is a sodium, it is filled with sodium. Okay, you can see that the sodium is contact with the sodium, you can see that it's contact with the, this is the uh, reactor. Okay, reactor or fuel material, and sodium it is contact with the reactor material, so it is in liquid form because it takes heat energy developed by the fuel material, and it is flows through. Okay, it is flowing through here, you can see that through the heat reactor, heat exchanger, and the heat exchanger, okay, heat exchanger is placed in the pool itself. Okay, it is a pool of, you can say that it is a pool of this is the pool of sodium, and in that heat exchanger is placed, in that heat exchanger is placed, so that it is called as pool type reactor. Okay, and extra loop, okay, outer loop, where again we can see that steam is in contact with the sodium. Okay, I will show you, there are two loops of sodiums. Okay, one is this is the one loop. Okay, through the pipes, okay, internal pipes, and other surrounding it. Okay, here it is flowing through here. Okay, here other sodium is flowing through this pipe. Okay, and now this sodium, outer sodium, okay, which is flowing through these pipes, zigzag pipes, it is again surrounded by water. This is the, okay, you can see that here is water intake is there, or steam is coming out of here. Okay, which what the structure is the same, basic structure is same, but the difference is that in pool type the one heat exchanger is immersed in the sodium pool, which is in contact with the core or fuel. In loop type, okay, what is the difference? Loop type, the reactor is, sorry, heat exchanger is outside the reactor, it is outside the reactor, that is the difference. Okay, again there are two sodium loop, one is this, and this is the second sodium loop, and third is the, this is the water loop, water steam loop. Okay, that is the difference. Okay, this information is also required to write in the exam. Next type is the heavy water reactors. Heavy water reactors. Heavy water reactors are developed in Canada. Okay, and most of them now these are used everywhere. Okay, so it is known as CANDU PHW. CANDU means Canadian. Can जो word आहे यातला, it represents Canadian. D for deuterium, U for this type deuterium uranium, and PHW means pressurized heavy water. Can do PHWM means what? Canadian deuterium uranium pressurized heavy water. It is developed by Canada. Okay, where the moderator is contained in a cylindrical steel vessel. Okay, we can see that this is the main core of the reactor. This is the reactor. You can see that where you can see, the one that is this square part. Okay, this square type part is the calandria. This is the calandria means what? Where the uranium fuel is placed. Okay, it is again given name by the Canada, on the name of Canada, so it is known as calandria. Okay, it is a cylindrical steel vessel. Okay, and it contains a moderator. Again, moderator contains what? Fuel cell. And 1 minute, I will select eraser again. Okay, and again there is, you can see that horizontal tubes are there. These are the horizontal tubes, okay, which are made of zircaloy material. Means what? Zircaloy. These are the zircaloy tubes. They are made up of alloy of zirconium, where the water inlet is given. Okay, water is given, fed to this uh, fed through these tubes, okay, which are coming in contact with the uh, heat produced by the reactor. Okay, and the inlet water is having temperature of 250 degrees Celsius, and outlet water is having the temperature of 295 degrees Celsius. Okay, everywhere here is the water is given, and here is the water is coming out. Everywhere water is coming out. Okay, and the third part, this part is the heat exchanger. This part is the heat exchanger. You can see that this is the heat exchanger. Means what? The water flowing through these tubes is the heavy water. This is the heavy water. Okay, why heavy water is the suppose in normal water, yes, hydrogen is there, and in heavy water DTO is there. Okay, in heavy water one neutron is more. Okay, in heavy water even neutron is more. Means what? A normal water having hydrogen, when it gets a neutron, it will be converted into deuterium. Okay, again this deuterium will not take extra neutron. Okay, it is now in stable position. We can see that it is a stable position. Okay, so this D2O, it is very low neutron capture. Okay, it has a very low neutron capture. Means what? Neutrons will not be wasted. Okay, so in place of H2O it uses D2. Okay, but other restrictions are the same. Means what? Whatever the temperature limits are on H2O, the same temperature limits on D2O are there. Okay, so the D2O coming out of these zirconium tubes, zircaloy tubes, okay, will flow through this heat exchanger, where the other loop is one extra loop is there. Okay, you can see that this loop is there. Okay, means what? Water coming out of the heat exchanger, it is flowing through the turbine, and when it's coming out of the turbine, okay, it is condensed. This part is the condenser part. The circular part is the condenser part. It is condensed, and its temperature decreased to 171 degrees Celsius. Again it is given to the heat exchanger. Okay, it is given here or it is given here. Okay, it is given to the heat exchanger. Okay, and again its temperature will be increased to 251 degrees Celsius. Okay, कळालं का? Next is the India's nuclear power program. Okay, we have seen the various types of reactors. Based on the types of reactors, this program is designed. Okay, in first stage, okay, pressurized heavy water reactors are used. PWR, pressurized heavy water reactors are used, which uses input material as or fuel material as uranium and deuterium oxide. Okay, uranium oxide, and its output is plutonium. Means what? We can say that it will work as a breeder. Okay, this PWR will work as a breeder, so it produces a plutonium. Okay, for that what they does, the reactor core is blanketed with the फर्टाईल मटेरियल, इट इज ब्लँकेटेड. म्हणजे आतून सगळीकडून जे आहे ते असं सारवल्यासारखं सगळं जे आहे आतून सगळं लावलेलं असतं. ते जे काही मटेरियल आहे ते फर्टाईल मटेरियल जे आहे. आणि वेन द चेन रिएक्शन टेकन प्लेस, दॅट फर्टाईल मटेरियल विल बी enriched. So here plutonium is used. Okay, we have seen the reaction where uranium 238 is converted into plutonium. Next stage, fast breeder reactors are used. Okay, where the input is the plutonium and uranium mixed oxide. I mean natural uranium is used with the plutonium, so the output is the uranium 233. Okay, this will breed uranium 233. Again, very high number of mines are there in India. Okay, around 2 lakh tons of thorium deposits are available in India, and only 30,000 of around 30,000 of deposits of uranium is there. Means what? Lot of thorium deposits are available in India, so that thorium has to be used, but they directly cannot be used. Okay, in stage 3, in stage, obviously this stage is of having a lot of years. Means what? The first stage is around 20 to 25 years. After that the second stage is around 20 years, and after that thorium stage can be started. Okay, this Indian program is started in 1960. Okay, and the founder was the Bhabha, Homi Bhabha, the scientist Homi Bhabha. In third stage, thorium is blanketed. Okay, thorium is used as a blanketing material or fertile material, and the starting or visible material is uranium 233. Okay, so this thorium will be enriched. Okay, and the lot of energy can be produced. So this thorium can be used a number of times. Okay, we can now proceed to the given websites where information is given. Obviously the same information is given in the book also. Okay, this website we will visit now. 1 minute. What happened? Okay, can you able to see the website, whether the screen is visible? Hello Sumit.
Yes sir.
Okay, on the website of BARC means what? Bhabha Atomic Research Center. The name is given after the scientist Homi Bhabha. Here you can read all these information. Okay, in first slide they have given information about what is the current scenario. We are producing about 55% of total power is coming from coal based engine, 20.38% is coming from hydroelectric, and nuclear is around producing around 2.5%, and non-conventional sources are producing around 11.6%. So considering increase in the demand in the future, the India has to give preference to nuclear based program. Okay, Pradnya, what is your doubt? Pradnya Mane. Hello, Pradnya Mane. You have raised a hand.
सर दिसत नाही मला.
दिसत?
हॅलो.
हा बोल. हा बोल की. दिसत नाही काय? पुन्हा एकदा करतो, एक मिनिट. स्टॉप शेअर करतो आधी. आता दिसते का? हॅलो प्रज्ञा, सुमित.
हाँ दिसले
हाँ सर.
दिसते ना? बरं, ठीक आहे. ओके. Just in first slide they have given the information about why the India has to go for nuclear energy. In second stage, okay, the strategy is given. Okay, 3-stage strategy is given. In stage 1, okay, pressurized heavy water reactor is going to use. In stage 2, fast breeder reactor is used. Okay, where uranium-233 will be produced. Okay, in stage 1, plutonium will be produced. In stage 2, uranium-233 will be produced. In stage 3, thorium can be used. Okay, the information is given. The natural uranium deposits in India is around 70,000 tons, and the thorium deposits is around 3,600 tons. Okay, 2 minutes are remaining when the lecture is over. Please join for 5 more minutes. Okay, in stage 1, a pressurized heavy water reactor which uses a natural UO2, uranium dioxide, as a fuel, and the heavy water as a moderator and coolant, same as in case of PWR. Okay, where uranium, okay, as a fissile material, okay, only 0.7% of fissile uranium-235 used, and other is the uranium-238, which is used as a fertile material, and it will be converted into plutonium-239. Okay. Again, there are two steps: open cycle and closed cycle. Means what? Whatever the waste produced during the process have to be reused. Okay. I will share the link again. Okay, I will ending the lecture, and again I will share the link. Okay. There are two types of for reprocessing of spent fuel. One is the open cycle and this closed cycle mode. Okay, in open cycle, the waste will be dumped in the ground, or it is cannot be reused. Okay, we can say that it is cannot be reused. Okay, in this in open cycle, only 2% of uranium is exploited. Okay, only 2% of uranium is used. In closed loop cycle, okay, the use of uranium will be increased. Okay, means whatever the waste material is developed, okay, it is again enriched and it is again used. In stage 2, fast breeder reactor, where uranium-233 is developed. Okay, in second stage of nuclear generation, in which is the use of plutonium-239 obtained from the first stage operation. Okay, in first stage, uranium-235 is used as the fissile material, and uranium-238 is used as the fertile material. It is converted into or enriched in plutonium-239, which is used as the fissile material in stage 2 in fast breeder reactor. Okay, and uranium 238 is used as a fertile material. Okay, and after that, in second stage, uranium-233 is developed, and this uranium-233 is used as the fissile material in stage 3. And so along with uranium-233, one extra material, thorium, can be used uh, as a what we can say, fertile material. Okay, so for why this stage 3 stage program is designed, because India has a lot or very much uh, deposits of thorium, and it cannot be directly used. So this 3 stage program is designed so that after the after the first 2 stages completed, the new fissile material, that is uranium-233, will be produced, and along with that thorium can be used. And during the process of stage 3, thorium will be enriched and used to generate the electricity. Okay, so this 3 stage program is designed. Okay, more information is given here, but the second, okay, strategy for nuclear energy, this is this part of the syllabus. Okay, you can either go through this website or you can follow the information in the book. Okay, the very nice information is given on this website. Okay, do you have any doubt? In next lecture we will take problems. Okay, sorry, one more website is there, where the map of uranium deposits in India is given. I will show you. The World Nuclear Organization. Okay, here also the detailed information is given. We can go through this. Okay, I think okay, here you can see that the various reactors, okay, nuclear power plants working in India, and the unit power generated by them. Okay, for example, Kaiga 1. Okay, it is a, again, 4-stage plant. Okay, it is a PHWR type. There are 4 units, okay, which are producing 202 megawatt of electricity. Okay, and it is starting to give energy in 2000. Okay, this is the map of operating and new sites. The purple color is operating sites, and the yellow color is the new sites. Okay, for example, Jaitapur in India, sorry, in Maharashtra. Okay, in this table they are given the information about who controls this. Okay, for example, Gorakhpur 1 2 in Haryana. Okay, this is controlled by the company NPCIL. Okay, this is the PSU. This map gives the information about plant nuclear power plants in India. Okay, in future. Okay, maybe the whatever the power plants they are in India, their size is, or capacity is going to be increased in next stage. Okay, I think he's this. Okay, uranium mines in India. Okay, these are the sites where uranium will be found. Okay, in Delhi, in Domia Siat. Okay, in Assam, near Assam. Okay, here in Banduhurang in Jharkhand, Gogi in in Karnataka, also in Gondia in Maharashtra. Okay, there also uranium deposits are there. Okay, these are the sites. You can see there in this table they are given information. In Maharashtra, Gondia is where uranium is found. Okay, and the its deposit content is the 301 tons. Highest deposit contents are in Andhra Pradesh, where in Kadapa district. 1,20,229 tons of uranium deposits are there. Okay. Now the theory part of second chapter is over. In next lecture we will see the examples on